Why, hello there, and happy Monday. We're about what? A little more than a week away from Christmas? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight for your live dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and we talk about all things real estate here. So I appreciate you being here and joining me this evening. Um, got a little bit of a crisis on our hands. So reports are showing that 25% of homes that were sold this year only went to first-time home buyers. That's a big problem. That's the lowest number that we've seen since 1981. So I'm going to share the report with you. This is data based from National Association of Realtors. Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank just talked about this recently too, and how this is going to be a big problem here. I mean, our first-time buyers are hurting for getting a home. But before I get into that, I have to say this like really quick. Uh, this weekend I had the most incredible thing happen, and I put it on my community page, my community post on the channel here, but I'm just going to say it. Graham Stephan, if you don't know Graham Stephan, you must be living under a rock. Graham Stephan is a huge YouTuber here. He's got a huge following, and I cannot believe he actually did like a reaction video to my video about home upgrades that people regret. And I've been speechless ever since. And I just want to say thank you to Graham. That's amazing. I'm just like this middle-aged lady real estate agent from New Jersey making content to help people, and to be recognized and to have a shout out from somebody as big as Graham Stephan. I'm still like, how did I end up here? So I just want to say thank you, Graham, for that. That was amazing. And I appreciate it. And I hope you appreciate my studio and not the crooked pictures behind me like I had in that video. Anyway. All right. So let's get into this. So I'm on my own tonight. I am by myself. And it's okay. Because sometimes I like to do this by myself. All right, and let's get into this article. So we have your housing market crisis. 25% of homes sold to first-time buyers. Let me just make sure everybody can see this. There we go. All right. Things have changed a lot in housing market lately, with an alarming statistic emerging from the voice of Barbara Corcoran. Less than 25% of all homes sold are going to first-time buyers. This startling revelation from the Shark Tank star highlights a pressing concern in real estate, as many young people find themselves sidelined in the quest for home ownership. With rising prices and fluctuating interest rates, achieving the American dream of owning a home is becoming increasingly challenging for new buyers. Corcoran, a real estate mogul and television personality, spotlights this critical issue, emphasizing its implications for future generations. So let's go a little bit down here. Understanding the current housing market. As the housing market is assessed today, the profound transformation of home buying dynamics becomes evident. The 30-year mortgage, once hailed as a simple pathway to home ownership, now feels like a mirage for first-time buyers. Barbara Corcoran's insights during her appearance on Fox's Cavuto Coast to Coast encapsulate the current crises that young buyers face, with less than 25% of home sales going to new buyers. It's clear that crucial hurdles are present in the market. According to a recent article on Benzinga, this statistic is especially alarming, given that it marks a historical low for first-time buyers. The St. Louis Federal Reserve reports that the average sale price for a home has skyrocketed to $501,000 as of the third quarter of 2024. Oh my gosh, that's gone up a lot. Wow. This significant increase means that many potential first-time buyers are facing a daunting financial slope. While a modest home might have been attainable a few years ago, today's market sees starter homes priced at $1 million or more in major coastal urban centers like LA, Seattle, and New York City. The pricing structure changes the narrative around home ownership. For many families and young individuals, to dream of owning a home is slipping away, replaced by an unfortunate reality of renting or living with family. Now I wanted to touch on this down here to talk about the shift in buyer demographics. So it says here the ramifications of the situation stretch beyond finances. The average age of today's home buyer is now 56 years old, creating a stark contrast with previous generations who were often younger when they purchased their first homes. This demographic shift signifies that many more seasoned homeowners are now making up the majority of buyers in the current market. As many of these older homeowners choose to stay in their houses longer due to the high market prices and current interest rates. The result is reduced inventory, leaving younger buyers stuck in a quandary. A recent survey by Clever Real Estate adds clarity to this predicament. Nearly half of Americans over 56 plan to age in place, a statement indicating a reluctance to move despite the possibility of profiting from selling their homes. For prospective buyers, the implications of this trend are severe as they navigate an already challenging market. So look, it's rinse and repeat, right? I feel like we talk about this all the time. We talk about this every week. But this is an alarming number. So it's actually 24% of first-time buyers that were able to get I'm sorry, 24% of homes went to first-time buyers this year. And that is like so super alarming. And the fact that now the people who are surveyed is saying they're just going to age in place and are not giving up their home, this is where we need more homes built. And you've heard me talk about this. I'm hoping that in the near future, changes will happen, changes will be made where we can loosen up on some regulations for these builders, and there'll be more incentives for builders to build homes, and not just homes, not McMansions, not these huge, what you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about, these 3,000 square foot McMansions. We need to build starter homes, just plain and simple. So I something's got to give, and I think now we have to go in that direction of new construction. I think that's what's going to help solve this. Um, so I just want to get a couple of let's check out the comments here. Hello, Roy. How are you? Thanks for being here. Hello, Miss Christina. Saw that video. This is amazing. Graham has nothing on Jack. You're the best, Christina. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, yay, well done. We made an offer today. First time home buyer FHA. Oh my God, Polly, I'm rooting for you guys. Oh my gosh. I so hope you get that. That's awesome. Semper Fi, thanks for being here. So glad I got my house in 2017. 1949 built, but way better than the new pasted together garbage I see. I can't imagine buying a new house with it being garbage and for 400,000 or more. Yeah. So touch on that. I agree with you. Yeah, if you guys had seen the video I did a couple weeks ago about DR Horton, they're not in a good position right now. They're building some pretty bad homes, and a lot of people are having issues with them. So that I know when I know it's saying we should loosen regulations. I'm not saying on the building end. I'm talking about like all the red tape, the permits, things like that. And also the cost to get the permits for these builders. It's super expensive for them. But you need to build good homes. You have to build good quality homes. Sweetbug, thanks for being here. And hello, Mr. Garcia. Robert's been on here before. Thanks for being here, Robert. And there's my buddy Clark. What's up, Clark? So I want to share with you some interesting stats from the National Association of Realtors. Hold on one second. So this is their home buyer profile. Okay, home profile highlights and profile of home buyers and sellers. This just came out, and this is where the data came from, the information that Barbara Corcoran was talking about. So this is some pretty interesting stats here. So first-time buyers, as we just said, decreased 24% of the market share. It was 32% last year. And they say this is the lowest share since NAR began collecting the data in 1981. The median first-time buyer age increased to 38 years old this year. That's up from 35, while the typical repeat buyer age increased to 61 years from 58. 62% of recent buyers were married couples, 20% were single females, 8% were single males, and 6% were unmarried couples. Can we hear it for the ladies? 20% single females. You go, girls. 73% of recent buyers did not have a child under the age of 18 in their home. This is the highest share recorded. That's interesting. 17% of home buyers purchase a multi-generational home for cost savings, 36% to take. So these are the reasons. So 36% of people bought multi-generational for cost savings. 25% was to take care of aging parents. Um, and 21% children or relatives over the age of 18 moving back home, and children over the age of 18 who never left home was 20%. All right, these kids over 18, get out of the house. You need to get your own. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But 83% of buyers were white Caucasian, 7% black African American, 6% Hispanic Latino, 4% were Asian Pacific Islander, and 3% identified as some other race. So come down here. Okay. Characteristics of homes purchased. I'm going to touch on this and then we'll move on. So 15% of buyers purchase a new home. 85% of buyers purchase a previously owned home. Recent buyers who purchased new homes were most often looking to avoid renovations and problems with plumbing or electricity at 42%. Buyers who purchased previously owned home considered them a better value at 31%. Detached single-family homes continued to be the most common home type for recent buyers at 75%, followed by townhouses or row houses. Senior-related housing remained at 19% of buyers over the age of 60 this year. 58% of a detached single-family home and 52% bought in a suburb or subdivision. The median distance between the home that recent buyers purchased and the home they moved from was 20 miles. This is down from the 2022 report of 50 miles, but remains elevated from the distance of 15 miles seen from 2018 to 21. Quality of the neighborhood, 59%. Convenience to friends and family, 45%. And overall home affordability, 36%, remain the most important factors to recent home buyers when choosing a neighborhood. Buyers typically purchased a home that was built in 1994. This is a rebound after the last 2 years when buyers typically purchased a home built in the 1980s. Overall, buyers expected to live in their homes for a median of 15 years, while 25% said that they were never moving. These are really interesting stats. So let me just stop sharing here. Oh, we got a lot of people in the chat again. So those are very interesting stats, and seeing that number with the multi-generational, I'm not surprised. And I just talked about this. It was last week or the week before. We're seeing a lot of that. I mentioned last week my friend Jen. You all know Jen Sylvester. She got a call from a woman who, her and her friend, they're divorced, and they decided they're going to go buy a house together because why not? It's cheaper. So I think that's gonna be more of a trend. If this is gonna be a problem, you're gonna be seeing kids, like young adults who buying homes with their parents because what else can they do? I mean, it's really tough to afford. Roy says, remember in 1987, you couldn't find a shack in Bergen County for less than 200,000. First time buyers felt the same market crash, savings and loan crisis. 1993, the 200K then goes for 150. All right, Roy, okay. Glad you brought this up. When my husband and I first got married, we did look in Bergen County back then. We were both living in New York at the time, and we were looking at Bergen County. And I remember seeing homes that needed a lot of work for 300,000 back in 1998. 1998, the homes in Bergen County were 300,000. So we were like, forget it. It'll never happen. We'll never live here. So we bought in New York. And then after the financial crash in 2008, Jersey, oh my God, the amount of foreclosures here in the state. I mean, it was bad. And it was in 2012, we jumped in and we were able to get our house, which back then, back in 1998 was probably worth a heck of a lot more than what we paid in 2012. So, yeah. Yep. I remember those days, Roy. I remember living our lives. Hey guys, welcome back. Sadly, the housing market's going to get a lot worse the next 18 months. Maybe it'll start to improve slowly after that. That's what a lot of experts are saying and analysts are saying. I wouldn't say it's gonna get worse. I think it's gonna be a lot more of the same of what we're seeing right now. I don't think we're gonna see much improvement. And even if the interest rates come down, it's still gonna drive prices up. So, hello, Clark. There's been more multifamily generational living along with people buying homes with friends and more. Yep, absolutely. So, Clark, you're obviously seeing that um, in your market. Well, William, Dusty, how are you? Hello from Chester County, PA. Just found your channel. 27-year-old here with parents hoping to find some valuable info. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And I hope I deliver on that and get you valuable information. We're at a point where buying a one-bedroom condo is a flex. So sad. Listen, buying a one-bedroom condo, it's really not sad. If that's what you can afford to get you in a home and you're building equity, you build equity and down the road you sell that place and you make your money on it and you buy something bigger, that's your stepping stone. That's how I would look at that. Don't look at it like that. Hey, Lester. Stagnation. Yes. We're in it and we're going to be in it I think all through 2025. Um there was never an American dream. It was a lie, stolen country. Well, there was an American dream. It's just right now I think it's gonna be on pause for a lot of people. Um, Sweetbug says over 30 years ago, home paid for, got it for 35,000, well-made home. Wow. Wow. That's really cool. MRT2J. Why do I have to put in credit card information and pay to view foreclosed homes? It says 7-day free trial, but I don't put this credit card. You don't have to. If you're on if you're talking about foreclosure.com, I think what they do, a lot of these services, they want your credit card first and then do the 7-day trial. But then if you don't want to do it, you just got to make sure you cancel it on the 7 days. A lot of services do that. David Matney, thank you so much. Thank you about that. I know you and I messaged about this. I know I'm speechless. Clark says some economists are predicting that the Atlanta market will soften a bit. I hope, Clark, I kind of hope it does for you guys. It's just, I know you guys have been every time I look at homes or areas south, like Georgia, Florida, not so much South Carolina, but, and even like parts of North Carolina, I keep saying these are Jersey prices. I can't believe how high the prices have gone up in the southern states. It's outrageous. What do you feel about co-signing for a family member? They really need the help. Just be careful because you co-sign and that family member defaults. It's going to affect your credit big time. Be very careful with that. Listen, like I love my kids. I don't know if I would ever co-sign. I don't think I would co-sign a loan. I just no. Listen, I hate to be selfish, but it's a reality. Things could go south and it could really hurt your credit. Hey, Lola, thanks for being here. Looking to retire out of Maryland in 4 years. Way too expensive to stay. Any thoughts on Tennessee or Northwestern Georgia? So Tennessee, depending on where you're going, Tennessee prices are pretty high too. I don't know a lot about Northwestern Georgia. I don't think Clark really does. Clark covers the Atlanta metro area. Clark, if you can chime in, if you know anything, feel free to comment on that one. But depending on where in Tennessee, where you want to be, I'm not sure about property taxes there, but people who have reached out to me, they're looking in Tennessee, and I talked to the agents there. It's Jersey prices, depending on the town, but you're looking at Jersey. I feel like they're Jersey prices everywhere now. Hey, Lester, lots of inventory in Florida. The storms and home insurance has really changed things here. I wouldn't call it a crash, but definitely more options lately. Yes, it's Southwest Florida. Yes, Lester, I've been having people from Southwest Florida reaching out to me about selling their places. So, I mean, hopefully that'll come back. Hey, Matthew Aguilar, thanks for being here. I'm on the opposite coast in San Diego. Homes are staying on the market for longer now, so things might be looking up here. I sure hope so. As these interest rates are staying, they're hovering in the 6s, pushing 7, and it's going to soften. Kevin Samuels, Kitten Heels. It sucks. Even rent prices are too high. I'm hoping the rent comes down a little bit too, depending on where you are. I'm seeing it a little bit here in my market. The prices are coming down. I was actually checking out rentals today because I got a listing, an investment property coming on in the new year, and I was comparing rents, and some of them, he lives here in Jersey, have come down a little bit. Clark, congrats, thank you. Yeah, you got to check it out. It's thank you so much, Clark. It's Clark, David, you guys have been such an amazing support. Thank you so much, and my friend Christina. I would not be here without Christina. Just saying. So. Um, Jonathan, thanks for being here. Hello. My bank has something that lets me know what my credit is, but how accurate is it if it's not actually pulling my score? Also, what would you recommend a credit score be for first time buyers? Well, the better the score, the better your interest rate will be. All right. So if you're going to go for an FHA loan, FHA you can have as low as a 580 credit score. Um, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay on the interest. So if you can clean up your debt, get that score up, I the higher the better. Just because it will save you money on your interest. You'll get a lower interest rate, so you'll save there. Um, all right, what else we got? I love this chat. I'm on property already. We need to rip and build two houses. Is now better or worse than before? Um, in New Jersey. Are you looking to so you bought a property with two houses and you want to rebuild them? I just need you to elaborate a little bit, and I can answer that. Um, yeah, okay. Clark doesn't focus on Northwestern. So, sorry, Clark. Thank you. If rent in my area is 2,000, where do you think that stands amongst others? I'm not Dusty, where was your area again? I'm sorry. Let me go back in the comments. Uh From PA. You're in PA. Thank you. Um, so 2,000 a month in Pennsylvania, is that for a one bedroom? If that's for a one bed, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Yeah, that's kind of a lot for PA, honestly. Um, yeah, that's a Jersey prices actually, 2,000 a month. If you're a one bedroom, that's kind of Jersey prices. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little shocked that the rent's that high in PA. Okay, Oscar says, "I've been on the property." Oh, wait, Jen, go back. "I've been on the property forever. Houses are 100 plus and no longer updatable." So you wanna update them or you don't wanna update them and you wanna sell? If you got a you might if you're looking to sell the property, just sell the property as is. Sell it with the houses on there and just price it accordingly. Okay, William says 2 bed, if you make it that. Yeah, so 2 bedroom, $2,000. Yeah, that's if it was a 1 bedroom, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. But 2 bed that sounds yeah, that's probably the going rate. Willie Nietzsche, I'm in New York. I would love to purchase my first duplex eventually here, but how much would you suggest I save for a down payment and any other costs associated with with the housing process? Okay. If you can do it, you can try to save. I always say 20%. It's a lot of money, I know. But even if you have 10%, 5%, whatever, that's fine. If you're looking to get Are you looking to house hack? If you're looking to house hack, you can also get an FHA loan where you can put as little as 3.5% down, and then you rent out the other part of the house to help pay your mortgage. So if that's what you're looking to do, that's a good way to go. And your cost associated. So I would say, depending on how much you're approved for, I would say probably about 1% for your closing cost. And also save for an emergency fund. Trust me on that one. Before you even get into the home, have that ready to go because you're going to need it. Because guaranteed something's going to happen after you move in and something's going to break and you got to pay for that. So have money in the bank ready to go. Is 20% required for a down payment or you think zero down is a better idea and investing that 20? Okay. So 0 down, the only so 20% is not required. You can put as little as, like I said, 3.5% down. The only time you could have a 0 down payment is a VA loan. All right. You can't do anything else. You have to do a minimum 3.5%. Um, so that's up to you as far as how much you want to put down. If you have that full 20%, you don't want to spend all of that. It's up to you and where you want to invest that. You got to look at your finances and maybe talk to a financial advisor. All right, Jonathan, South Mississippi, what would you recommend for down payment for this market? Savings seems impossible task, but trying. Sadly, I don't have 1,000 yet, but almost there. I'm not 100% sure what the home prices are in South Mississippi, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I don't have that information. But again, try to go for, if you want to go in FHA, try to save 3.5%. So if you see homes in a certain price point that you're interested in, try to go for 3.5%, and you can go FHA. My recommendation to you, Jonathan, definitely talk to a mortgage lender and get that ball rolling to see how much you qualify for, how much you get pre-approved for, to give you a gauge of what, like how much you're going to be spending on a house. Okay. And then you can back into it from there to figure out your down payment. Um, Emergency fund, no truer words have ever been spoken. Thank you, David. I know. You need it. You need it. Lester, if you see a house was under contract becomes available again, is it reasonable to ask the seller's realtor for any inspection reports if available from the previous potential buyer? Um, Technically, you're not supposed to because the buyer paid for that report. It's they own that, that buyer who did the inspection. So technically, they're not supposed to give it to you. And honestly, in my experience, no one's ever shared that information. They wouldn't give me the actual report. They would tell me, this is what came up on inspection. The seller fixed it. Okay, fine. But yeah, that's going to be hard to do. Um, Again, because that belongs to that home buyer. Thanks to the greedy bankers and companies like BlackRock for monopolizing on the whole real estate industry, we're all duped. That's another thing. I said this last week. We were talking about corporate investors. I really hope they put some regulations on them and to stop them from scapping up all of these homes, these starter homes. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if any changes like that come into play. Willie says, look into house hack. That's exactly what I was hoping to do. Okay, cool. Willie, what I would do, go talk to a mortgage lender, explain what you're looking to do, and they will be able to walk you through that. I'm aiming to save a minimum of $100,000 for hopefully $400,000 house. So I don't know if that's even possible now in New York. For $400,000, depends on where. It really depends on where you're looking. But New York's not cheap. Depends on where you're going. But good for you. Roy, I once looked for a 2-bedroom in New York City. A realtor showed me a place with a small bedroom. I asked, where's the second bedroom? He had shown it to me, but I thought it was a closet. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You know what kills me? I have a friend whose daughter lives in the city, in New York City, and she lives downtown. It's a 2-bedroom, and they put up they made a third bedroom. They put like one of those shades up, you know what I'm talking about? Those panels to make like a makeshift bedroom. And this is how these young adults are affording Manhattan because they're just putting up fake walls and making bedrooms. It's crazy. It's crazy. Clark says, I always say get your own inspection because everyone will not be open and honest about what came up. Excellent point, Clark. Thank you. Yep. David agrees with you too. Yes, so to go back to that, about getting the inspection report. I don't rely on it too, because I would, if you're going to get the inspection report from somebody else's inspector, more than likely you're going to get your own inspection, and your home inspector may find other things that the other inspector didn't find. It depends. These inspectors, a lot of them have their own specialties. Like, one may specialize in electrical. Another one may specialize in, in framing and drywall. Another one may specialize in, plumbing or whatever. So I've seen this. I actually had a client, this is no joke. Before they listed their house, they had a home inspection done for their own knowledge, and they went and made repairs. They made the repairs before they put it on the market. And then when the buyer did their home inspection, that things came up on the home inspection that their inspector didn't pick up on, and they already made repairs to. So, yeah, I think every inspector is different. They look at things, they look for different things. Like I said, I feel like it depends on their specialty. So, um, all right. So, I got some other information to share with you. I thought this was really funny. So I was going through today, every weekend I go on Saturdays, I go and search articles that I want to talk to you guys about and we'll share. So this week, this is November 27th, the 7 worst states to buy property in the next 5 years. And guess which state is on that list? All right, forget about California. We know California. All right, now they're saying Florida. I just have to say, hold on. Where are we? All right, guys. It's not here. But anyway, New Jersey's on this list. Are you surprised? I'm not. Um, yeah. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, pop-ups. Stop it. Here we go. So Florida, Illinois, Louisiana, good old dirty Jersey. I love it. New Jersey. I love this. Besides the high property taxes, New Jersey is dealing with an exodus of major corporations, which impacts job availability. The state has some of the highest health insurance premiums in the country, adding another layer of financial stress. Furthermore, the congestion and traffic, especially for those commuting into New York City, can be a daily frustration. Yeah, you think? So New York, of course, made that list, but I think they're really focusing on, well, it says infamously high price state is New York. They talk here beyond the high property taxes and cost of living in New York City. There's also the matter of aging infrastructure. That is so true. Um, the pandemic has shifted many jobs to remote work, reducing the need to live in or near the city and prompting many to relocate to suburban and rural areas. West Virginia made this list as one of the worst states to buy a house in the next 5 years. West Virginia is known as coal country, but the industry is declining, which has economically devastated many parts. As jobs dry up, the population drains in these small towns, leaving little demand for housing. Homeowners may struggle to find buyers willing to pay a fair price. So I thought I'd share that little bit of information with you guys because are we surprised? Those of you who live in Jersey, are you surprised? I'm not surprised at all. Lester says, wasn't there a talk about a big commercial real estate crash? I know a few people whose companies have recently gotten out of their office space in New York City and now being converted to residential. There was a talk about that. I really haven't seen anything. I haven't seen or heard of a big commercial crash, but you're right. There are a lot of these big cities like New York, they are doing this. They're converting that office space into condos. So, yep, it's a happening. Paulina, thanks for being here. We are VA approved, but just don't know if it's a good idea. Why do you think it's not a good idea, Paulina? Because I have a feeling I know why you think it's not a good idea, but let me know. um, oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm having a good hair day. As always, enjoy your channel advice. I have 2 family houses thinking of buying a multifamily. What are your thoughts on taking some equity on one of them and get on the multifamily? I think that's a great idea, but crunch your numbers, do the math, make sure it's doable. If you're going to get a multifam, are you looking to rent that out? So, yeah, listen, it's a great way to build wealth, owning real estate. David says an inspection is also a snapshot in time. Also, all inspectors are not created equal. There are good ones and bad ones. Speaking of bad ones, David, I may have shared this. There's a guy here in my market, a home inspector, notorious for doing like scaring the bejesus out of home buyers, like pointing out like minimal things in a house, but making it like the house is going to fall down. And he would tell them, I wouldn't buy this and blah, blah, blah. So what his strategy was, they would hire him, do the inspection, the people would back out of the house, they cancel the contract, they find another house, they call that same guy back in because they go, he's great. He saved us from buying another house, buying his house. Brings in again, he finds something else wrong, scares the crap out of them. You know what he just did? He just double dipped. He made like 2 they paid him twice, right? And then on the 3rd house, he'll say, "Oh, yeah, the house is good." So he got paid 3 times. Yep. Notorious, notorious. I know of real estate agents, they knew of this home inspector, and when they found out, like, that real estate agent was had a listing, and the buyer chose that home inspector, the listing agents would be like, "Yeah, we don't want that home inspector in here," because they knew it was a scam. They knew what he was doing. New York is the next Detroit. I don't know. I wish New York was on the list. Yeah. Um, Let me see. New York is converting offices to condos. Who will afford them? Yeah, that's what I'd like to know too. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. People will pay. David says the real estate crash has about the same probability as my massive weight loss. Oh my God, David, you're so hard on yourself. Will you stop? Oh my God. Noelle, what is the average cost of building your own house by myself? It depends on where you are. It depends on the size of the house that you're building. I can't answer that like 100%. There's so many variables that go into that. I really don't have a solid answer for that one for you. Sorry. Paulina, high rates, extra expenses, high sale prices, all the things. We have good credit, no debt, but a mortgage will be double our rent, so we stay on the fence. I understand that. I totally understand that. We are VA approved, but just don't know if it's a good idea. I get it. I totally understand that. Listen, you have to look at the numbers, you know, sideways, upside down, double check, cross reference, all the things like to make sure that it's going to work for you. If you feel like you're just going to be house poor at this time, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But you really have to do the math. And if you go back to your lender and you talk about your mortgage payments and also your homeowner's insurance, like you got to get real about your taxes and insurance because those are the 2 numbers that are going to always increase. Your principal and interest will always stay the same for the life of the loan. Where people get in trouble is they don't take into account the homeowner's insurance and the taxes increasing yearly. And the homeowner's insurance lately, you all know, has been going through the roof. No pun intended. But so you got to be careful with that. At Paulina, you will get one of the lowest interest of VA. And they'll make sure all the paperwork is in good condition. The only downside, they can be very strict, which I think is great. Yes, the VA loan product is excellent. I've helped clients who use that loan, and it's great. You could do 0 down. You can finance 100% of the loan, which is wonderful. But they do have some restrictions on the appraisal. And I will tell you that sometimes home sellers get nervous when they see a VA loan come through because they know especially if it's an older house that needs a lot of updating, they kind of get nervous over that because they know the appraisal, they'll come back and say, "Oh, there's peeling paint, banisters loose." And they won't approve the loan unless the seller agrees to fix those issues. So there is that drawback there, especially if you're in a competitive market. I'm just being real. Like this is what I've seen. But overall, the VA loan is an excellent product. Living Our Lives says, I would say that going with the VA loan is one of the safest, more customer-friendly loans. They are strict as to protect veterans from money pits as well as your own guarantee. You're right. You're absolutely right. But unfortunately, some sellers do get nervous about that because especially if it's an older home. I just had this recently. I just had it recently when one of my buyers going VA, and it was an elderly woman selling the home, and she was selling it as is. She wasn't doing a damn thing to in the inspections. Like she's as is, take it or leave it. And that was a problem for my client who was VA because we knew the appraisal might have been a challenge. So unfortunately, we couldn't get it. David says we had the same inspector, must have moved to New Jersey. Well, you know what? I'm sending him back to Omaha, David, if that's the case. AJ, how are you? My wife and I make $250 combined. We rent for 2,500 in North Jersey, and we don't want to buy a house right now because we're still saving money. The timing will never be right. Don't s don't be so sure of saying that the timing will never be right. It will be right. It will be right for you when you're ready financially, and the right house will come along. And I say this, it's such a cliche thing, and I say this to every client. The right one will come along. We've lost houses on these bidding wars, like, it wasn't it. That wasn't the right one. And believe me, when they find the house that they buy, they're like, "Yeah, this is the right one." They just know. So don't be so down about that. It'll happen. I've always heard growing up to buy a condo instead of a co-op. However, I've been hearing how condos aren't a good purchase because of high HOA maintenance fees. What are your thoughts? Okay, so Willie, here's my thoughts. Yes, the HOA fees are going up. Why? What did I just say before? The homeowners insurance. Okay. So the HOAs have to pay an insurance as well. And the maintenance too. They have to build a reserve. If say the buildings need a roof, there's paving that needs to be done on the property, things like that. So your HOA fees will go up every year. And not the problem, but a drawback to that, at least when you own a home and you do your taxes, you can write off the interest on your mortgage, you can write off your property taxes. You can't write off HOA fees. That's just something you're just paying the HOA every month. Um, a co-op, you're right about a co-op. So co-op is they're challenging because you have to be approved by a board. You literally have to go interview in front of a board of people to see if they'll even want you and they'll let you buy the place to buy the co-op. And as much as people will say, oh, they like that, it's going to be tough to sell because again, you have to go through that whole process. And if the board doesn't like the buyer, they can reject them. And that could be a challenge for you down the road if you want to sell. So, um, Cash Jordan is documenting the crisis in New York City. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up. I'm gonna have to check that out, Ian. Appreciate that. 20% is a lot of money. What percentage of home buyers can actually afford 20% on a median priced home? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't imagine a lot of people. I would say I have my fair share of people that put 20% down, but I've had, people just put 5 or 10%, you know? It is a lot of money. I don't disagree with that. Found your channel recently. I learned so much. People who comment on the videos and sharing a ton of knowledge and wisdom too. I'm so happy. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're learning from me. Uh, who'd have thought? I bought a house and found out the neighbors are smoking crack in the yard while the wind blows it in our windows. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh. See, that's always been my fear because when we bought our first house, our neighborhood is great, and then our next door neighbors moved in, and yeah, they were a problem. Smoking pot in the backyard every weekend. I had young kids. I couldn't enjoy my backyard. That's the worst when you got neighbors that are just doing stupid stuff like that. Can you call the cops on them? I don't know. Uh, I wouldn't tolerate that. Andy B, hi. I have a home with about 50% equity and a 2.75% 30-year, but I hate where I live after about 4.5 years. I feel trapped, and I'm in Phoenix where prices just keep going up and up and up and up. Okay. That's a tough one. And you got 2.75% interest rate. Oh my gosh. That's really good. Uh, you got to really figure that out. You got to figure out what's it worth to you. I mean, you can hang on to the house and rent it, right? You have such a low interest rate, you can rent it out and go rent something else if you can afford to do that. But well, yeah, if you're renting it out, it's going to pay your mortgage, so you can go rent somewhere else to see if there's a better place, better neighborhood that you would like to live instead. Um, Kevin, I want to sell my house for triple what it's worth. Any advice? You're funny, Kevin. You're a funny guy. Good luck with that. There's also a VA loan funding fee. Yes, that is correct. So it's the PMI. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're putting 20% down, you have to pay that that PMI. Same with an FHA loan too. So PMI is private mortgage insurance. So on a conventional loan, if you're putting less than 20% down, you have to pay this private mortgage insurance. It's just an added fee on top of your monthly payment, and it goes away after a number of years. I want to say it goes away like after maybe 10 years. Or if you had Clark, if you're on here, could you help me out? Because I forget like the stuff like, 55-year-old woman here. That's all I got to tell you, right? My brain is shot. So yeah, so you pay the PMI on the FHA and VA loans, even if you put 20% down. On a conventional, you put 20% or more down, you avoid the PMI. You do that on a government-backed loan, you have to pay a PMI for the life of the loan. So thank you for that, Lester. Someday defect. Hi, home build price per square foot on average is $260. This is considering average finishing materials, not high-end finishes. This does not include land cost, utilities, and tap fees. Thank you for that information. I appreciate that. Okay, well, you know what, David? No, I don't want him either. Too bad. You take him back. Anyway, Matthew says, any advice on negotiating repairs? Trying to buy my first home, and this house has possibly $30K of repairs. I'm not sure seller will want to do. Okay, well, look, if your agent, I'm not sure where you are, Matthew, but if your agent will go to bat and negotiate, as long as here's the other thing too. What did you agree to in the contract? Right. So when you said you were doing home inspections, did you limit those home inspections to only look at structural, environmental, mechanical, and safety? So if that $30,000 falls within those limited items that you were going to check for, then you have absolutely every right to go back and ask for a credit. So, but yeah, you can totally negotiate it. When we used a VA loan for a purchase back in 2016, there was no funding fee. Interesting. I think the funding fee is waived in certain cases. I qualify for VA loan, but don't qualify to waive the fee. Okay, cool. Thanks, Lester. Thank you so much for all your help on this journey. You're so welcome. You were so welcome. That makes me happy. What are USDA loans, jumbo loans? What qualifications do you need? So I'm not a mortgage expert. I'm going to bring a mortgage person on. I'm thinking in January. So we're going to answer all these questions. So USDA is like an agricultural loan. Like if you're buying like farmland, a house with farmland on it, or yeah. So it's a government-backed loan, like similar to FHA and VA. Jumbo loans, I think if you're borrowing at $400,000 or more. Again, I'm not a mortgage expert. I'm just spewing out what I know. What qualifications do you need? You need good credit. You got to show your proof of it, your job, proof of income, and your any money, any savings, any assets, things like that. Just same across the board. Qualifications for any loan. You are so welcome, Willie. Thanks for being here. Excited to be watching live for the first time from Australia. Oh my God, Jason Voorhees is my dad. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like, that's insane. That is insane. When we're ready, you'll be my first call. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously, call me. Now I'm happy to help. David says people are in their 50s. People have to save half their life before they can buy. Yep. Thanks for that, David. Thanks for that fact there. Matt Hill, I was under contract for a house and a property dispute came up halfway through. The neighbor wanted the third car driveway cut in half. We moved on. Long story short, but the neighbor was a nightmare. You dodged a huge bullet right there. Because let me tell you, you get a bad neighbor, like I was just saying before, oh my God. It makes your life hell. It really does. Mawa, Azet, where have you been? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for being here. Taking 20% is a lot, but you need to think about it as an investment. I had to take 20% out of my retirement account, paying 10% penalty, not 59.5 yet, and taxes, but it's an investment. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, you can borrow against your 401k, but if you're If you're younger, on the younger side, no offense, Mawa Azza, I'm not far from you as far as the age goes. Um, you can borrow it, but as long as you pay it back, you can pay yourself back. So does buying a house in New Jersey come with a drone now? I'm beginning to think so. Those stupid, stupid drones. I'm so over this. I really am. That's all I got to say about that. And why here? Why New Jersey? Can somebody just answer that for me? Why are they flying over us? Like, I'm not feeling uneasy at all by this. No, not at all. All right. Brad says just got a VA loan with 5.75%. Whoa. That's amazing. 10% down for a 30-year loan. Find a good lender. I bounced between three. My first offer was for 6.75 with 820 credit, 0 DTI. VA 5.75. Brad, good for you. Good for you. Oh my God. I hope you get a house soon. Richie says buy a lot, build a one bedroom, then build onto after. That's not a bad idea either. Get yourself started, right? PMI for conventional loans, putting less than 20%, and MIP for FHA loan. Thank you, Clark. Appreciate you, Clark. I think the VA funding fee is waived if you have 100% service-connected disability. Check with a mortgage professional. Thank you, David. Thank you, guys. Hello, Charlton. Sorry, late. Doing repair work on my second unit. Got a VA loan for 2 unit in 2012 for 3.5%. Wow. Incredible rates. Thanks for the shout out. Love watching your videos and live streams. Thank you for being here. You have no idea. I can't believe you're watching from Australia. That's like the furthest away from Jersey that somebody's been watching me. I'm floored. Robert. Okay, what are your thoughts on the growing trend of buying a luxury RV instead of overpriced house with potential hidden repair needs? Well, look, depends on how you want to live. If you want to travel the country and live in your RV, and settle into a park, you can do that. You can totally do that. It all depends on your needs. With an RV though, it's not so much of an investment. It's not going to appreciate in value, So home is a better way to go. But again, it all depends on your personal financial situation. Zeke's cards. If my annual salary is too high, does it affect any perks of being a first-time home buyer? You're amazing. You're too kind. I'm sorry, my screen keeps freezing up. I'm a little technically challenged on that. So if your annual salary is too high, no, it doesn't affect any perks. No. No. Sean says, my bad, the drones are me. Seeing if I can get a loan under 5% if I go interclass. Yeah, let me know how that works out, Sean. The nice thing about VA loans is that VA loans are assumable. I have a buyer assuming a 4.25% VA loan. They are excited. I'm excited for them. That's great. That's true. They are assumable. But David, I'm curious, how long is it taking them to get that loan, to assume it? Because I've heard that process can take a really long time, like months, to get approved for to assume that loan. Next week, I should be watching from CA. So close to closing sale. Both attorney and realtor told me just to leave now. Realtor can deliver keys. Funds will be wired. Congrats, Roy. So happy for you. And good luck. Is being house poor that bad if it's your dream house? I say no. Well, look. If you really love the house and you got to eat like ramen noodles for like a year because, you love the house and you really can't afford to spend a lot on groceries. I mean, if it's worth it to you, then, then fine. And keep in mind over time, your income will hopefully increase, right? You're going to be working, you're going to hopefully get promotions or get better jobs and your income will just only go up, right? You're not going to look to get demoted or get fired. So, although that could happen, right? People get laid off, but I would be, it said, if you want to eat ramen noodles for a while, then that's your thing. If you want to do that, the RV will eventually be worth very little. Yes, you're correct. They depreciate. Thank you, April. Thanks for being here. Yes, they do. Does having a large savings in the bank for home interfere with qualifying for down payment assistance programs. I don't know about that, Willie. I can't answer that 100%. I'm definitely going to I have to bring one of my mortgage specialists on here next month, and we're going to answer all that stuff. What else? I told him to be very patient. It can take a while. Yeah. So assuming a VA loan, if you have that opportunity, just be prepared. You're going to wait a while. You're going to wait a while to get approved. Clark says a lot of veterans are placing their properties on the market down here, allowing for assumable loans too. That's very cool. That's great. Assumable loan does not free the buyer from liability from mortgage. It's still tied to the mortgage. No, it's not going to. No, that the point is they're assuming they're taking over the seller's loan at their interest rate. So, yeah. So they will be tied to it. You're welcome, Willie. I appreciate you being here. All right. Jen, how we doing on the comments here? I think we're good. Did we get everybody? Okay. Oh, Brad says vet to vet VA loans are faster than vet to non-vet. Interesting. I was not aware of that one. That's good to know. Thank you, Brad, for sharing that. Appreciate it. All right. So you guys, let's hope we get more homes to first-time home buyers in 2025. Those of you who are in the process of looking and you feel defeated, don't be defeated. Don't feel bad. Oh, Jen, we got another comment here from Carlos. It's just underneath Brad's comment. Did you see that? Here we go. Follower here from Canada. Oh my God, everyone's from all over the world. Do you plan on making videos about Canada real estate market? I'm not from Canada, so no. But there are some great creators, YouTubers, in the real estate niche from Canada. Stuart Nodell, he's been on my show before. He's out of Toronto. He's got a great channel. The other guy's escaping me. If David or Clark, if you guys know, if you know who I'm talking about. Is it Brad McCullum? I think it's Brad McCullum. I thought he was out of Canada too. Hey Roy, thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. So, you all reminded me. What are the interest rates now? They're still in the 6s. I think the low 6s. Before I forget, everybody, next Monday, I'm going to be on at a different time. We're coming on at 7:00. We're doing a little holiday special live stream. It's myself and my good friend Jen Sylvester, the Savvy Home Seller. You all know she's been on here before. Many of you even watch her channel too. We are going to be doing like a really fun live stream together. And just to, it's a little fun holiday celebration. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to have trivia. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So let's, so thanks, Jen. That's the OG Jen in the background with the sound effects. Can we give it up for Jen? Thank you, Jen. Good job, Jen. I love it. So next Monday, we're going to be on at 7. That's December 23rd, right before Christmas. We're going to do a special live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, giveaways. It's very cheesy what I'm giving away, but look, it's my okay, thanks, Jen. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So you'll tune in next week at 7 o'clock. Now, really quick, if you need a real estate agent in your area, please click that link down below in the description box. It is jackie-baker.com. Fill out the form. There's a couple of forms. So if you'll fill out the first one, then you're going to get an email for a second one that's asking for more detail about what you're looking for. So don't forget to fill that out if you do that. Anyway, everybody, it's a great chat tonight. I so appreciate you guys for being here. And I got to tell you, I got to thank this community. You guys are amazing. And the fact that you come here every week, it blows my mind. And I'm so happy to be here and to share information and to help you on your journey to whether you're a first time buyer, you're selling a home for the first time. I'm just so appreciative that you actually trust me and you listen to me and find value in this. So thank you so much. So I will see you all next Monday again, different times, 7 p.m. Little Christmas special. It's gonna be very exciting. So we will see you all next Monday. Everybody have a wonderful week.